Hello and welcome to one sick race. This is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. I am fully upgraded and we are at Laguna Seca. Now, for some of you, this will be the track you hate more than any other track, and I totally get that. I used to hate this track more than any other track because I spent more time in the sand than I did on the stinking track. Now, you just saw me going off into the sand a little bit, and that's because I just climbed behind the wheel of this car at this track again now. I haven't tried this for quite a while. I tried this when it was first available, and I couldn't do it. I found it impossible. So I'm giving it another shot because someone just asked me about if there was any endless endurance races at Laguna Seca. And I said to him, yeah, I know about one that I saw some other people do, and I couldn't do it. Now you see me taking some mega cuts there. Oh, and really blowing it. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to be taking a lot of these cuts throughout the rest of this race. I was giving it a shot. So I'm doing a little bit of trial and error and also feeling out my braking points here. This is a stinking amazing car. One of my favorite cars in the entire game. The Valkyrie and the Valhalla are just shockingly amazing cars. Now, I didn't want to do that. Again, I'm honing in my skills here. So we're going to talk a bit about this track because this is actually one of my favorite tracks. Used to be one of my most hated tracks. Now I love it. That corner there, blind corner. This right here is the famous corkscrew, also completely blind. Oh, you see that thing jump? Oh, that's sick. So we're going to control those jumps. You can take some insane jumps at the corkscrew, but you end up out of control, hitting the wall, losing it in the sand, and this is an endless endurance race. I can't afford to be losing it a lot, but that was pretty slick. This car at this track, I want to say it's like they were made for each other because it's just such an amazing track in this car. This track is really meant for cars that have dynamic downforce. And I don't know if that's actually the term, but in Real Racing 3, I just finished the Ferrari SF90 event. And I would say with that car, there's no additional downforce as you get going faster and faster. It just is what it is. This car starts to stick the faster you drive it, more and more. It's built it's a race car. It's a street legal race car, basically. Man, it's just a stinking amazing car. If I had my choice between an SF90 or this, I'd take this in half a second. No thoughts about it at all. Not that anyone's gonna say, hey, ME7, I'll give you one of these two cars. If that ever happens, Aston Martin, if you're happening to see this video, I will take a Valkyrie, I'll do a full review, I'll show my face, everything. I'll let everyone see who I am. The mystery will be over. ME7 will be visible. You just got to give me a Valkyrie, guys. Is that too much to ask? Okay, probably. Okay, well, enough of that. Now, we're cruising along here. You can see I'm making mistakes. I wasn't making these mistakes the last time I tried to do this because I gave it a lot of practice. But you watch how much better I get at this track as we start logging laps. And a little bit careful. There you go. You see I'm controlling it. This corner right here, I'm pretty sure I could take this flat out if there's no one in my way. This corner here, come on, just amazing. Now this one I got to get a little bit more dialed in. I think I can go around him. See that? Left side's on the green. You could take your left sides fully. You can have your right sides fully in the sand, left sides fully in the green, not off track, okay? On that corner, on the exit of the last corner. So here, this corner here, just a touch of a braking point. Then no brakes at this corner coming up. And then we got to start making some overtake zones. So with this car, I really would be rather overtaking on the outside. Oh, beautiful. That's nice. Now this corner, it's blind. No brakes required in this car. See that? No brakes. And I stayed perfectly on track. Now here, you want to slow down. You don't want to take this much more than you could go up to maybe 250 kilometers an hour. And you should still be able to control it. Oh, didn't want to do that. If you go over 250 kilometers an hour, it's going to get out of control. Forget about it. You're going to lose all sorts of time. Oh, I overbraked that corner. So I'm starting to get a little bit of that feel. Sometimes you got to drive it a little bit too aggressively to be able to pull it back. So I don't want to overbrake this. Maybe a pinch overbraking it. Sorry, better to overbrake than to overdrive it here at Laguna Seca. Because if you overdrive it, you risk going off into the sand and losing an awful lot. This is so sweet. So I'm going to have another overtake at this corner. Let's see if I can get this dialed in nice. Ooh, Ooh, that was a sweet overtake. And blind corner again, and then I'll be overtaking someone else at the corkscrew. Now this is gonna get touchy later on. Let's see how much I slow down here. Ooh, I took that faster. I want to spend more time on track though. That's too much off track. Oh, full throttle. Okay, huge cut. Cutting is sometimes advantageous. That was a huge cut, and you give away all your earnings when you're cutting. So you got to balance out the good and the bad. But pretty stinking amazing car. Like, I'm braking. Man, I'm braking late. For corner one, I overdrove that a little bit, but still, man, that's late braking. And okay, let's talk about something else here. If it's your first time seeing me doing an endless endurance race, you don't know some of these things. The bots are going to get increasingly difficult until they are better than a fully upgraded car. However, they're still being driven by bots using assists. Now, the bots' assists are definitely better than anything we have access to, but regardless, they're bots. And so they're not going to be driving as good as you can if you turn off those assists. So, in case you're wondering, I have no assists. So that means no steering assist, no brake assist, no traction control. Definitely not. The only assist that doesn't waste your time is steering assist low, but it will waste your time if you're trying to go off track like I am and cutting the corkscrew. It'll actually throw you a bit sideways because it wants to keep you on track. Oh, this guy's hard to fight with. I've already reached the perpetual point. You can see it up ahead here on the corners, but I'm dancing with this guy and I just can't get around him, and I don't want to get damaged. I should already be at the perpetual point. I can't believe I hit it so early, but I'm not because this dude's in the way. Oh, overtake him. Beautiful. That was an awesome overtake because that car, that's not quite at the perpetual point, but it's right around the corner here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will very... Ooh, baby, that was sweet. Little lifting there. Oh, that didn't quite work. Oh, gosh. I'm all over the place, all over the map, losing all sorts. Okay. Well, I kind of wasted a whole lap, but there's the perpetual point. See how all those cars are nicely stacked close together? And for the last 10 kilometers, they weren't. That's how you know. This is what happens after you pass the 42nd car. You need to pass 42 cars as fast as possible or you'll never see this. If it was possible to do normally, you would have already done it. It's only possible in a few places in this entire game without taking off-track cuts. Melbourne and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Melbourne in the Ferrari F14T and the 412 T2, McLaren MP4X, and then Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Nissan Skyline Group A BNR 32, stinking long car name. That's it. Those are where you can do endless endurance racings without ever taking off-track cuts. Funny enough, though, both at Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Melbourne, you will still get an off-track penalty on your clean race bonus, because anytime you take 2 tires off track, you're going to lose your clean race bonus. However, you don't lose performance. Okay, we are ripping along. I'm wondering if I can get my timer refilled. This is difficult, but not as hard as it was for me before. And you know what, guys? That's encouraging, because honestly, I thought I had plateaued. I thought I wasn't improving anymore at this game. I thought it just, oops. I thought I got as good as I can get, but clearly I've gotten better because, come on! Okay, I'm saying that while I'm doing worse, but we're gonna hone this in. Clearly though, ooh! Cracks. Come on, windshield. No cracks. Woo, it made me nervous. Clearly, I've gotten better because my car is not damaged, and I'm at the perpetual point, which I couldn't do. And I'm blowing it again. Okay, 48 seconds. Come on, ME7, you can do better. We're gonna take this to 50 kilometers. That's kind of where I call it, because at that point you're well into the perpetual point, and we get a good enough feel for whether this is profitable or not. Because that's the other big question. It's not whether it's possible or not, it's whether it's profitable. There's piles of endless endurance races in this game that are not worth your time, and this could very well be one of them. A great example is McLaren MP4X at Porsche Test Track Short Circuit. It's so easy. You could enter the race with a completely destroyed car and get to the perpetual point without any trouble at all. However, the earnings are so bad you're better off in the Audi R8 LMS Ultra that goes substantially slower. Whoa, check this out. I knew he was going to do that. So it's all about profitability. You've heard me say it before if you've seen my videos. It's all about the fame per minute. So, of course I'm recording this race, which will enable me to figure out exactly how long it took me to get from the green light to the 50-kilometer mark. Based on that, we just take how much fame I earned, divide it by the time in seconds, and then multiply that by 60 seconds in a minute. That gives us fame per minute, which is what it's all about, baby. You might know that the most profitable race in the entire game is the McLaren MP4X at Le Mans in the MP4X exclusive series. It is ridiculous. Like 1900 fame per minute without hiring the agent. I mean, that is sick, man. You do that race on 100% bonus fame day with the agent hired, we're talking 7,600 fame per minute. Now, it's a very challenging race, and I'll throw a link up to it at the end of this video. It's a race that took me 5 years to get comfortable at. Believe it or not, it's quite the race. It's quite the car. One of the hardest cars to control in the game, that McLaren MP4X. Also, I think it's the only fantasy car. Now, here's what's funny. It's a fantasy car that's been licensed by McLaren, but it doesn't exist. It appears in multiple games. Okay, so we're at 43 kilometers, and you can see I'm at least able to increase my time. I haven't refilled the timer yet. Ooh, getting a little bit. Nah, I jumped again. I just love that. I love jumping this thing. It's just a sick car. Taking this on track, like, this is such a sick car. Oh my goodness, what a sick car. I just love this car. I wish there was more races for it that were profitable, but man, it's a sick car. It actually does really good at the Silverstone. So I'll throw a link up to this car at Silverstone. That's a really profitable race as well. Although it's full of glitches because you can end up passing too many bots and then run out of bots. And what'll happen is you lose your sequence. And so I had this funny thing happen where bots started appearing right in front of me, and you got to avoid them or you crash. So the game loses you. And yes, I'm all cracked up now. That's okay. This isn't going to affect my profitability too much. A cracked windshield means that you lost top speed, acceleration, brakes, and grip. So it's okay though. At this point, like now, I'm just smashing people out of my way. So I'm late braking and then using them to assist as my brake assist. That sounds horrible. Tell you what we're going to do here. So there's going to be a very quick freeze frame when I hit the 50-kilometer mark, just to let you know that that's where I'm going to go back to and call the race right there. I've got to give back the distance I go afterwards. Okay, coming up right here, very quick little freeze frame right here. So that's it. What I want to do is I want to take the corkscrew full speed and see how much of a jump I can take on this car. I might not get the trajectory. Oh, I'll forget about the full speed because I tagged him. Well, we're still going to just fly through it and see what this is like. Oh, I landed in the sand, so it didn't look very impressive. Okay, we're going to go 4 times regular speed here. Just look at my distance. See how it's going down? So I'm just proving to you that I'm giving back all the distance, and I'll end right at the 50-kilometer mark. All right? So there you go. So that is accurate art earnings and accurate fame earnings. And unfortunately, guys, this race doesn't pay very well at all. Only 575 fame per minute. Not worth your time unless you just want to go have some fun. Here's the links I talked about. Please like, please subscribe, and join me for more videos. Bye-bye now.